Everyone is saying the HDZero goggle is king now for analog. Manjaro Black, I'm going to try to argue with that point just because I like to argue. If you only fly analog and you are not interested in HDZero or Walk Snail, okay, that's the first premise. As soon as you become interested in any two of those three, the HDZero goggle becomes much more compelling. But if you only fly analog and are not interested in anything else, I would argue the SkyZone Sky04X is a worthy contender compared to the HDZero goggle. Because many of the advantages of the HDZero goggle don't really come into play when you're using analog. 90 frame per second screen, who cares? Analog is 30 frames per second. That's just it. High, H264 DVR, 265. Well, the Sky04X has a good DVR. And the Sky04X is going to be a lot more sort of compact and not have a whole bunch of menu options that don't really relate to you. So the other thing that comes to mind is that the Sky04X is going to have a much bigger image than the HDZero goggle because the Sky04X has a 4:3 screen, which means that that field of view, whatever it is a 4:3 field of view. And then if you letterbox it, it gets smaller. So it's always good to have your screen match whatever camera aspect ratio that you're using, if possible. With the HDZero goggle, you've got a 46-degree field of view or whatever, but as soon as you scale it down to 4:3, it gets down to like 38 degrees, and that's not as good. So the HDZero goggle still, I'm not saying it's not good, but I'm just arguing with you for the sake of arguing. So I think that there's going to be people who would choose the Sky04X. I think the real loser of the HDZero goggles is the Orca. Wait, the O4X has a bigger image? Really? Let's check that, Abraham. Let's check that. So the Sky04X has a field of view of 46 degrees. But here's the thing. We're going to make some graphics. Here's the thing. So I go straight to PowerPoint when I need to draw graphics, of course. So here's the Sky04X, right? That's a 4:3, 46-degree field of view. Okay? Well, really? Let's make it the same color. Let's make it a different color. Okay? So that's a Sky04X with a 46-degree field of view. Yes, I do know the ASCII num code for the degree symbol by heart, because I type degrees so often. Let's put that. Let's put that in a text box. No, I don't want that. No. Just a text box, please. There we go. So here's our Sky04X with a 46-degree field of view on a what is it? A 1280 by 960 screen. Okay. Now, along comes the HDZero goggle. And the HDZero goggle is, let's take this same arrow and duplicate it so we have the same 46 degrees. Crap, that's not going to be easy to do. Anyway, you'll get the picture. So here is a 46-degree 1920 by 1080 16:9 on the HDZero goggle. Can't type. Now my question is, if you are using an analog camera with a 4:3 screen, which of these is going to give you a bigger image? Right? because, oh, I got to turn my camera off, because the Sky 04X is going to give you this big image here, right? But if I show that same image on the HDZero goggle, we're going to end up with this. Okay, the geometry is not perfectly correct, but you get the gist. So the question is, what size image are you showing? If I'm showing a 4:3 image on a 46-degree 16:9 screen, I actually end up with only 38 degrees. However, so here is 38 degrees fitting in there. On the other hand, if I want to look at a 16:9 image on my Sky 04X, the same thing happens. It gets smaller. However, and I haven't done this math, so I don't know for sure, you might end up with, no, that's wrong. I'll shut up. I won't say that. So the takeaway is that when the aspect ratio you're using doesn't match the aspect ratio of your screen, the field of view you get is less than the field of view you would get if it matched the screen. If you fly 4:3 analog, the Sky 04X is going to give you a bigger image than the HDZero goggle, even though they both have a nominal 46-degree field of view, because that's a diagonal field of view, and they don't have the same aspect ratio, so we're not comparing apples to apples. Why isn't the 4:3 image scaled to widescreen? That's just not how the goggles handle it. I mean, they could stretch it, sure. That's not, I mean, I'm not a fan of that. They would usually letterbox it. Now, if you're thinking of doing the math to check this for yourself, bear in mind that this is not a linear 46-degree field of view. Rather, hold on, it is three-dimensional. I didn't make this. This came from Ryan Quellet. Hang on. I got to find the actual link to the... Where's the link to the actual thing? There we go. So bear in mind that it is three-dimensional. So for the numbers to work, you have to build something like this. You're measuring this angle here. You can't see it because I'm covering it up. You're measuring this angle here. You're not measuring the linear length of the diagonal. And I've been talking about the length of the diagonal as a shorthand, but what you're actually measuring is the angle. So if you do your trigonometry in 2 dimensions based on the length of this vertex, you won't get the correct number. But this is an example of a 16:9 screen with a 4:3 image pillar boxed inside of it. And this is the 46-degree field of view of the HDZero goggle, and this is the 38-degree field of view of the 4:3 image inside of it. Anyway. So, long story short, if you fly 4:3 analog, the SkyZone Sky 04X is going to give you a much bigger, more immersive image than the HDZero goggle. And maybe that's still, the HDZero still has a lot going for it, but